Defensively for the Angels, Rivera, Willits in center, and Bobby Abreu in right. Figgins is Turris, Kendrick, and Morales around the infield. Jeff Mathis catching Urban Santana.
You got Reggie Willits there in center field. Going to have to cover some ground because it's a very powerful offense. 143 home runs the Rays have. They hit a lot of fly balls with a lot of speed, too. So look for them to try to cover the gaps both the right field and left field. A lot of speed for Reggie Willits.
Jason Bartlett, who hit that drive to the short wall and left at the end of the ball game last night. That was Zobrist, actually, as Bartlett takes a strike. Bartlett went 3 for 4 and missed only the single in trying to hit for the cycle. And the Rays have never had anybody hit for the cycle. So he could have made history, but not quite last night.
Well, he looked really comfortable at the plate last night. The key to pitching against to make sure he's not comfortable. Make him move his feet on occasion. Pitch inside.
One and two to Bartlett. And Urban gets him looking. Great start to the game for Urban Santana.
Well, we talked about establishing those secondary pitches early on. A couple sliders, then he comes back in with a fastball on the inside corner at the knees. Eric Cooper behind the plate calling that a strike. Perfect spot for Urban Santana.
Eric Cooper will call strikes, Scooby.
He's behind the plate when Mark Burley threw the perfect game. And a no-hitter that Mark Burley had thrown early in his career. So if I'm Mark Burley, I'm requesting Eric Cooper behind the plate.
Yeah, can pitchers request the umpire they want?
I wish I could have on occasion.
Hello, bud. I'd like to have Eric Cooper tonight if I could. 1-1 to Carl Crawford. Hitting .315. Crawford has 12 home runs, 55 runs batted in. That's going to be a tough play. Figgins off balance throw gets him.
What a play by Sean Figgins. That ball gets by him. That's an infield hit for sure with that speed of Carl Crawford hitting from the left side. Great pitch too by Santana, but an even better play by Sean Figgins. Fields it, throws it as it just out of his glove, going away from him, almost like an option play as a quarterback. Nice play by Sean Figgins.
2 outs in the first, and Evan Longoria stepping in there for the Rays. Hitting .274. Good power, 24 home runs.
Early on, Urban establishing that good tempo. Not wasting any time. The key for any player that has struggled for a period of time is don't think too much, whether you're at the plate or on the mound. Just trust your catcher is going to get you through the tough times.
One ball, one strike.
We have Longoria all the way in the back of the batter's box. See right here, right on the line right there. That's the big thing.
Texas Rangers have already lost tonight. Cleveland beat them 5-0. So the Angels with a chance here tonight to go 5 games up in the West.
Right on that back line. Back foot. Doesn't have a wide open stance either. It's all about comfort.
He hits a shot to Figgins. Sean makes 2 good plays in the first inning. And the Rays go in order in the top of the first. Figgins is Turris and Abreu in the first inning. Vladdy batting cleanup. Juan Rivera, Kendry Morales 5 and 6. Then Kendrick Mathis and Reggie Willits in there batting ninth tonight against David Price.
David Price, one of the best young left-handers in baseball. 92 to 96 in that fastball. Above average slider and a changeup. 5-4 record. 4.91 ERA. Walked 6 guys against the Angels way back there in June 11th. His last 2 starts, though, been very good. 13 innings pitched, only 3 earned runs allowed, and only 2 base on balls in his last 2 games.
Certainly burst on the scene last year, didn't he?
What a precious situation he was in, too, against the Red Sox in that ALCS. That's that Game 7, finishing it off.
Ball 1 to Sean Figgins, starting the bottom of the first. Price, 23 years old, born in Nashville, Tennessee. Two and one to Figgy.
I remember that game back down there at the Trop. His mechanics were off in that game. He was flying open. Key for Price, staying within his mechanics and not overthrowing the baseball. You see, he's a tall pitcher. He gets on top of that pitching rubber. That's great balance at that point. But when you overthrow the baseball, that shoulder flies open, you'll go towards third base. So the key for him is landing and staying in good fielding position. That means his mechanics are solid.
He is listed at 6'6", about 225. It was just a couple of years ago. He was in college and an All-American at Vanderbilt.
It's like a tall golfer. A lot of things can go wrong when you're swinging. Same thing as a pitcher. If you're real tall, you really got to stay balanced on that pitching rubber to keep your mechanics intact.
Strike 3 called to Figgins. Behind Price tonight, Crawford's in left, Upton in center, and Zobrist in right in the outfield. Then you have Longoria, Bartlett, Willie Ibar, and Pena around the infield, with Greg Zahn catching Price.
Longoria, very good at third base, one of the best there is. Even though he's just starting out his career, a lot of people around baseball saying he's the best fielding third baseman in the game right now. Possibly end up by the end one of the best ever at the third base position.
Oh, and 1 to his Turris. Well, Price, growing up in Tennessee, probably saw a lot of Braves games on television and has said that his all-time favorite player was David Justice. The Dodgers drafted him in the 19th round in 2004. He strikes out his Turris looking.
Well, we mentioned Eric Cooper behind the plate is not afraid to ring up batters, and early on he's established that with 3 called strikeouts so far in this game. Fastball on the inside part of the plate at the knees, similar to the pitch we saw Irvin Santana get Jason Bartlett out with. Basically, the idea is a hitter right now, you better be up there swinging, because he's going to call a strike. Eric Cooper will.
He's called out Figgins and his Turris. Bobby Abreu, who sometimes gets the benefit of the doubt up there at the plate, steps in hitting .316. 0-1. Abreu lifts a shallow fly ball. And the Angels go out in order in the first inning. We're 1 inning in, no score. open for a sneak peek of the new comedy, The Goods. Live hard, sell hard. In theaters August 14th. Ben Zobrist to lead off the second inning against Ervin Santana.
Let's see if Ervin can continue that good tempo he had like he had in the first inning. The key, using the secondary pitches too.
Well, you want to get Ervin to the point, Rudy, where every time he pitches, you're not talking about what a big start it is for him.
And I think, you know, when you talk to Ervin, and even when you talk to Mike Butcher and Mike Socha, they're not concerned at all about health with Ervin. It's about repeating his pitches. You hear that phrase a lot out of Mike Butcher and Mike Socha. They repeat their mechanics, repeat their pitches, so he's going to be fine. You know, maybe he's not throwing 97, but 93 and 94 miles an hour, boy, any pitcher would take that type of velocity on the fastball.
Zobrist pops one up behind third base. Figgins will be called off by his tourists. One out in the second, and Carlos Pena coming up. Santana 4 up, 4 down. The Yankees got back in the win column tonight. They beat Toronto 7-5, so that is win number 70 for New York, the first team to get to 70 wins.
Well, last night, Carlos Pena, good swing, a fastball up and out over the plate. But he does such a good job of going with the pitch. Doesn't try to pull that baseball. That's great power the other way.
He's only hitting .214, but the power numbers are solid. 29 home runs, 74 runs batted in.
Good changeup early on for Ervin Santana. He ended up throwing a couple good ones the other day against the White Sox, but it was later in the game. It's a good idea to always get that established early on. That way you have extra zip on the fastball. Fastball inside on him. What I mean by that is, Rory, change up at 85, then all of a sudden that fastball at 95, 96, much more crisp, gets by him. They're looking for something off speed. Don't always give them that same look, that same fastball. They're going back inside with the fastball.
And Pena pops that one up.
Jammed him.
His tourist makes the play. 2 pop-ups here in the second. Fans break out the Red Week presented by Big O Tires concludes tomorrow.
No.
Sad, isn't it?
Yes.
But there are still available for tomorrow's game tickets that fans can purchase in the select view level areas for just $5, or the right field pavilion as low as $10 when using the password RED at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. One more day. I don't think they're banning red shirts after tomorrow, but tomorrow
I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of red every single home game the rest of the year. But there's going to be a lot of huge games coming up.
There's a pop fly into shallow right by Burrell. And 3 easy outs for Santana in the second, with Vlad Guerrero set to lead off the bottom half of the inning. Vlad leading off the bottom of the second inning here at the Big A. He homered his first time up, number 399, last night. Vlad now has a total of 8 home runs this season. One ball, one strike. I think one of the best parts about that home run he hit last night, Gooby, was the smile on his face as he rounded first base after number 400.
Boy, Vlad definitely is a guy that has that big smile, but at that particular point it was relief. Of course, hitting a big home run, giving the Angels that lead at that particular point too. You know, when you sit on the bench on the DL for a while and the club's playing well, you want to contribute. And that was a huge home run for him.
He grounds that one to the second baseman, Willie Ibar.
Take a look at our Jaguar performance. Vlad, 2 home runs last night. Home run number 400. That's 45th all time for the Big Daddy.
And you can check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer or on JaguarUSA.com. Juan Rivera steps in there. Juan hitting .308 with 18 home runs, 62 runs batted in. And last night, it was Juan who had to go get it up against the short wall with 2 outs in the ninth. Great reaction by the fans there who had a brilliant view of that play.
Well, the big thing was no interference from the fans either. They stayed away and let Juan make that great play to end the ball game.
One and two to Rivera. So we mentioned that Texas lost already. The Yankees beat Toronto. The Red Sox are ahead of Detroit 6-3, but they're in a rain delay in Boston. That's up the middle by Rivera. Nice play by Bartlett, and he gets him. Jason Bartlett.
Well, you can see why Joe Madden is so excited about having Jason Bartlett as his shortstop, his everyday shortstop, his defensive ability, great range, dives, gets up, and makes a strong throw to get Juan Rivera at first base.
Nice
Price
play.
saying yes, nice play. What that does is gives you confidence as a pitcher. When you got that kind of defense behind you, you're more apt to throw a lot more strikes, be more aggressive.
2 outs. Kendry Morales up there for the Angels. One ball, one strike to Kendry. He had 2 home runs last night and has 25 now.
Hey, look at the numbers. Kendry Morales, 298 batting average, 25 home runs, 75 RBI.
Let's check our United States Marines leaders of the game. I had a feeling Kendry might be involved in this.
Well, four multi-home run games. The only players to do that who have more than that are Albert Pujols and Andre Ethier. Those guys in the National League. Kendry, well, what kind of numbers? I mean, it's amazing, and this defense is getting better and better at first base. Very good all-around player.
He's 5th in the league now in home runs with 25. The leader is Pena, the first baseman for Tampa Bay. He's tied with Mark Teixeira with 29. But Kendry's right behind him, just 4 behind. And then 1 more behind Kendry is Longoria. Morales hits a fly ball to Upton in center field. And we've played 2 innings at the Big A, no score. Angels have released Justin Spire.
Well, that's always a tough scenario to go through. And Mike Socha, that's got to be the toughest part about being a manager. Justin, just a popular guy in that clubhouse. Well, it's always tough to make that call, make that decision. Tony Regans and Mike Socha bringing in Justin just before the game and had to release him to make room there for Trevor Bell to make that start tomorrow. It's, see, I mean, it's difficult. You get that friendship and bond amongst guys you manage. Never an easy decision to make, and there's Tony Regans. Obviously had to be there for that. Can't force in front of him. So it's tough. It's a tough spot, tough part of the game.
There's a ball dropped by Morales, but they'll still get the out at first base on Willie Ibar. It's a lot harder than just sending somebody to the minor leagues. When you send them down, at least they still have a job and a chance. Now, you're just out there with nothing.
I said, Justin Spire, very popular with his teammates. Great sense of humor. It's always tough, especially down there in the bullpen. He's been down there for a long period of time. He's a fixture in the bullpen. When he first came here, his numbers were outstanding his first year, and he was in that 7th inning role, and then ended up going into the 8th inning role at times. But has struggled the last couple seasons, but it showed signs of coming around. But then as soon as he did that, he had to have a tough outing. But I'll tell you what, he's the guy that battled and competed as well as anybody.
There's the first hit of the ball game, a line drive into right field by Greg Zahn. The first base runner of the night. Zahn with a solid single into right. That's George Hendrick, the first base coach and former Angel, up there talking to Zahn in case you recognize Big George. B.J. Upton at the plate now. There's Hendrick.
What about a guy with a great sense of humor? George, 4-time All-Star, won 2 World Series with the A's in '72, and of course with the Cardinals there in '82. Former Angel also. hang out with George down at the Angel Fantasy Camp a couple years ago. Well, he had me rolling on the ground laughing. He's hilarious.
Pretty dangerous hitter, wasn't he?
Ooh. He had the cool uniform before anybody else had the cool uniform. The pants all the way down to the spikes. There he is right there. It's still same uni. Well, he had tremendous power. He loved the fastball down in his zone. He could drive it out to all parts of the ballpark. BJ following the footsteps of his coach, George Hendrick.
That might be 2. And that ends the inning. Still no score.
That was tailor-made double play. Throws is Howie Kendrick going to lead this off against a 6'6" flame-throwing left-hander for the Tampa Bay Rays. Key again, get him in this stretch position. He has an overpowering fastball. The stuff isn't quite as crisp when he gets out of that stretch position. Howie Kendrick coming up here. Key for Howie hitting the ball up the middle of the right center. When you have a guy throwing that hard, not a hard thing to do. Fastball in the outside corner to lead it off, getting ahead once again in the count. Ground ball to Willie Ibar, throws him out of first base off the end of the bat by Howie Kendrick. David Price continues to roll. That defense of the Rays very solid in the infield. Pitching aggressively the last couple games out for David Price, not a lot of walks. They're throwing strikes in the infield, making the plays. You got Bartlett, made an outstanding play at short. Evan Longoria, one of the best in the business as far as fielding the ball at third base. And you got a Gold Glover, Carlos Pena at first base. Get grounders, you're going to be successful. Joe Madden, manager of the Rays, loves his defense of the Rays. He wants his pitchers to be aggressive. Pitch fastball just off the inside part of the plate. Jeff Mathis here. 5 home runs and 23 RBI. And off the end of the bat, Crawford, good read, makes a routine play. Good movement, again, by David Price off that fastball. And Jeff Mathis hit a weak fly ball to left field. Now Reggie Willits coming up. So far, it's been 8 up, 8 down for the Angels going against David Price. Reggie Wilt's getting that start in center field for Gary Matthews Jr., getting a little bit of a rest with a day game tomorrow. Played a number of games in a row at center field. Speaking of center field, Torrey Hunter down in Rancho Cucamonga as far as his rehab assignment to get going. There's Gary taking it in today. Gary had 28 consecutive starts in center field. It's a night off. Like Socha's very good as far as picking and choosing what's the perfect time to give a position player a night off. Mike Socha just the other day took some heat for giving Kenny Morales a day off on that Sunday against Texas. But those batteries are recharged with those 2 home runs last night and a base hit. Reggie tried a bunt attempt on that fastball at 92 on the outside part of the plate. Now evens the count at 2. See right there, when you see a guy with a 2-1 count attempting the bunt on you, more than likely you're going to go right back with a fastball. You might try to elevate it inside with that fastball. Ground ball to Bartlett again. That side infield defense across to Carlos Pena. But David Price has continued to deal. 9 up, 9 down as the Rays come to bat in the top of the 4th. Well, I know Reggie Jackson's one of them because I was participated as a Royal going against Reggie, so I know that for sure. Big Daddy last night, that game winner, the 400th home run off the foul pole down the right field line. Yeah, we have the pesky pole in Boston now. We got the Flag Guerrero pole here at the Big A. Jason Bartlett leading off here, takes that first slider from Urban Santana for a strike. Key secondary pitches. Dropping in a changeup. Urban Santana, 8 of his first 10 batters, first pitch strike. Important. Now ahead of the count, 0-2, can expand the zone. Goes slider, thrown in the dirt. Oh, was that filthy, that slider. You have a chance to get ahead like that, finish him off, make him swing at your pitch. And that's what Irvin was able to do, is slide it off the plate. Nice job by Jeff Mathis setting it up. Good mechanics, keeping that front shoulder in on top of that slider. Bartlett, who had a great night last night, punched out twice already in the game by Irvin. Well, Carl Crawford laid down a bunt. Jeff Mathis bounced out in front of the plate, makes that play. Boy, there's no better feeling a pitcher getting that one pitch out. Beautiful thing. Off-speed pitch, Carl Crawford with all that speed, tried to deaden the baseball, but it's right out in front. Mathis knows that speed, got himself a good throwing position over to Kenny Morales for the second out of the inning. Brings up Evan Longoria with all that power. Jeff Mathis so good defensively behind the plate. First pitch fastball off the corner at 94, though. Good velocity, good tempo so far for Ervin Santana. Mike Butcher looking on. He's got to feel real good about what he's seen so far early in this game out of Ervin Santana. They're working between starts, Mike Butcher and Ervin Santana. They try to go back and look what he did those last 3 innings in Chicago where he was successful using that changeup like he threw right there. Perfect spot on that off-speed pitch. Well, if you go changeup, slider, fastball on the inside corner off the hands is a pretty good pitch if you can get in there, but it's a dangerous pitch. Let's go fastball on the outside corner. Just the pin outside. It's off the corner at the knees. Eric Cooper has been very good as far as ringing up batters today, but that pitch was just a little bit on the outside corner. The first 3-ball count of the game for Ervin Santana. Great play. Sean Figgins once again ranging over to his left, picks it, throw across. Ervin Santana dealing 2-4. Still got to be feeling good about that 400th career home run last night. Tim Salmon at 299. What about the hot dog at 56? Hey, there's a question mark because he got a few left in him. There's Hud. I saw him swing in the pregame show. He might have a few left in him. Enjoying something to eat also there for the hot dog. Sean Figgins around his second at bat against David Price here to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning.
Bottom of the 4th inning, still no score at the Big A, and a great duel so far, Gooby.
Oh, it's been great. I mean, David Price, 9 up, 9 down. Ervin Santana with tremendous tempo. Great fastball and slider early in the game, and mixing a good change, too.
Figgy tries to bunt his way on. But Figgy struck out his first time up. And again he tries it, but it rolls foul on the first base side.
Well, when I've been on the mound, Rory, when I see I'm throwing and a guy tries to bunt on me twice, two things go through your mind. One, respect. That means your stuff's pretty good. And also that Sean Figgins is very good as far as that push bunt. So you got to feel confident on the mound, but also you got to like the fact that Sean Figgins is thinking the lines of bunting for a hit. He has been struggling of late as far as getting on base via the base hit. He's walked a few times, but the batting average plate's gone down, so it's a good idea to try to bunt.
And Price gets him again. Back to the Aflac trivia question and answer now. Guerrero is the sixth player with 400+ home runs to play for the Angels. So who are the others?
Reggie Jackson's one of them. Eddie Murray, another one. Dave Winfield, Dave Kingman, Frank Robinson. Well, I know I'm in the book with Eddie Murray and Dave Kingman, so I helped contribute to those.
And the Angels get a base runner the hard way. His Turris hit by a pitch.
Boy, that got him in a scary spot, too.
Sosa's going to come out and make sure that wrist is all right.
Well, that's a tough one. Right there looks like it's right on the hand of elbow area. Especially when you're throwing as firm as David Price is throwing. And on the bone, it's never a good feeling for a hitter in that spot.
So
it's a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball bearing in at you. There's no way you get out of the way if you're a hitter. It's in that elbow.
That might have been on the funny bone, too. I mean, that might really be stinging right now. Fans, stay tuned for a sneak peek of the new comedy, The Goods. Live hard, sell hard. In theaters August 14th.
Unless you're going to stay in the game, Rick Smith, the trainer for the Angels, and Mike Sosa checked him out. Fredo Griffin right by his side there at first base. First base runner. He had 10 batters faced, all 10 out. That point for David Price.
Bobby Abreu up there now. Bobby comes into the ball game hitting .316, and in his career he has hit .323 in August. When it gets hot, he gets hot.
250 career home runs. Bobby Abreu.
How long do you think it took the Angels to notice the scoreboard that says Cleveland 5, Texas nothing?
Well, so we should go to the typical line of Mike Sosa. We don't look at scoreboard. We don't even worry about ourselves.
Right. But all we care about is how we're playing.
Exactly. But if I'm on that bench with the Angels right now, I knew that the second that game was over.
There's a shot in the right field, but it's going to be caught by Zobrist. His Turris has to hurry back to first base. Bobby hit that ball hard.
Boy, that was a rocket.
Well, because of the loss by Texas, we look at the buy.com American League West standings. And with a win tonight, the Angels could make it 5 games over the Rangers.
Well, that's the thing is, after that series against Texas beat the Angels 2 out of 3 there in that home series here just before the Rays come in town. But the reality is you have a bunch of other games to play. You got to win your games. Great victory last night, led by the man at the plate right now, Vlad Guerrero, with that home run.
Vladdy has a 12-game hitting streak going.
And also to note, 4 home runs since coming back from the DL.
Right. And this is with some people saying, oh, they shouldn't be playing, he shouldn't be batting cleanup, his time is gone by. But you wouldn't know that by watching last night's game, would you?
Especially when you hit a home run to right field like he did. That was a pretty good fastball, too, in the outside corner. He went with the pitch. A home run early in the game, dead central.
Vladimir fouls one back out of play.
See that one right on the outside part of the plate off the end of the bat. How strong must you be able to hit a ball on the outside corner like that and hit that, and his hips opening up too. That plate coverage and the strength of Vlad Guerrero is amazing.
Most players would hope that maybe that one blooped behind the first baseman's head.
At best.
Right.
That is unbelievable when you think. 320 career batting average of 400 home runs. Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Stan Musial, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams.
Those are some fairly decent names in baseball history.
That's Hall of Fame categories.
Right off the pole last night for number 400. But what was even more appropriate about it was it gave the team the lead in the late innings.
Said it best in the post-game show. That's what's all about, giving the team a chance to win, put them ahead. That's all about winning baseball games.
Turris is running, but Vladdy taps it back to the mound. And that'll do it for the Angels in the 4th inning. Now a special look at the hilarious new comedy, The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, starring Jeremy Piven, in theaters August 14th. Has to come out of the game after being hit by that pitch. Eric Ibar takes over at shortstop. It's got him in a bad spot, Gooby.
Boy, fastball at 94 miles an hour gets him right in the elbow area. That's the throwing arm too of Meiser. Well, everything's going to be okay with Meiser. So he's been so valuable to this club.
He's had a tremendous year. He really has. Ben Zobrist up there at the plate.
Mike Scioscia wanted to give Eric Ibar one of those days off to recharge the batteries, but now forced back into action here today at shortstop.
Well, he got the first 4 innings off, so he got half a day off. One and one to Zobrist.
Great curveball. Urban has given up a base hit in this game, but through the first 4 innings has faced a minimum amount of batters. Good curveball on the outside corner at 78 miles an hour.
Greg Zahn had a single in the 3rd inning. That's been it.
Fastball inside now. It's going expanding the zone. Throwing that curveball on the outside corner and try to come back in with the fastball on the inside corner. Pitching west to east. against Zobrist.
Full count to Zobrist, who has hits in 21 of his last 29 games. But this one's been all pitching through the first 4 tonight. He left that one up quite a bit.
Yeah, but it's a definite different feel from last night's game. The home runs,
Sure
pitching
is.
behind an account, missing location on some pitches. Both pitchers in their groove right now. Good tempo by both of them.
And down he goes. Santana strikes Zobrist out. Fans, set your drink down in style. Tuesday,
Yes.
August 25th. I knew you would like that. All fans in attendance will receive a free Angels drink coaster set, courtesy of Cacique. The set comes with 4 coasters featuring Rivera, Hunter, Vlad, and Abreu. Seats are still available. You can get them at angelsbaseball.com.
I can't wait for that. That's a great giveaway.
Especially if you use a lot of coasters. It makes it even better.
Keeps your coffee table nice and clean.
Mm-hmm.
A very good holiday gift too, Rory. Or my birthday is coming up. I'm sure that's something you can give me.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Well, you're a big spender.
Here you are, Gooby. The Abreu coaster. Happy birthday.
Thank you. See, there's no
Now
coaster.
it's lacking.
Yes.
It's lacking coasters.
Exactly. They're going to be a stain now on the table. I mean, the coaster's perfect.
She's probably saying that right now. Honey, coaster night is coming up. Can we go?
Is there any question about that?
3-0 to Carlos Pena.
The second 3-ball count.
See?
No coasters by
I had
her.
no idea what a problem it was. That's why we had to have coaster night. That'll take care of a lot of situations down there.
Urban 3-0 count, dropped the slider in, realizing that Carlos Pena will be up there hacking 3-0. Good spot.
Well, he'll definitely be up there looking for his pitch. 3-1. And Urban issues the walk. Pena's aboard with 1 out, and Pat Burrell coming up. One out, 1 on. Burrell hits a shot into left field. Rivera catches it. Well, that ball was well hit, but Juan Rivera was right there.
Pat Burrell very quick on the fastball. Got out in front of that one. Hit that hard, but Juan Rivera, great jump. Made it look easy. Himself in position to make that play. Just in front of the warning track.
It's the old hang with him, huh?
Hey, when you're hitting about 1/3 in your career against the Angels, that's what happens to you as a hitter. Hit a ball hard, but it's right at somebody.
Willie Ibar lifts a fly ball to Reggie Willits. And the scoreless battle continues on into the bottom of the 5th inning.
Came in and said he's just going to watch the game as a fan right now.
Have a refreshing drink and talk to some people around there.
Look at an Angel baseball game.
Right.
Does a great job for us during the games, but he had an off day and came to the ballpark.
Well, he's there if we need him.
Hanging out with his mom. It's all
As soon
about.
as he finishes that drink. The batter is Juan Rivera. Boy, there must be something mighty tasty in there.
Refreshing.
Yes, absolutely. It's 0-1 to Juan Rivera. No runs, 1 hit for Tampa Bay. No runs, no hits for the Angels so far. Rivera grounded out to shortstop, his only time up.
Well, that'll wake up the dugout. Hugh and Gary Matthews Jr. said, hey, I'm getting the day off here.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to get out of the way of a line drive.
Two and two, the count. And the first Angel hit of the night. Right back up the middle by Juan Rivera, leading off the 5th. Kids looking for a unique back-to-school accessory, then come out to the Big A. Saturday, August 29th, when all kids ages 2 to 18 in attendance will receive a free, one-of-a-kind Angels camouflage backpack, courtesy of Healthy for Life. You can get your tickets at angelsbaseball.com. Boy, that's good news for him. He just heard about that. He said, the backpack's coming up.
Oh, it's perfect. Back to school, get the backpack.
Yep, more good news. The batter is Kendry Morales. Three words kids love to hear. Back to school.
Oh, they just do leaps and bounds from that.
Yep.
My kids they're counting down the minutes.
Racing
back
out
to
the
school.
door.
Oh, they can't wait.
One ball, one strike to Kendry Morales. The leadoff man aboard for the Angels in a scoreless ball game.
Now it's time for a jack in the box outside the box. Kendry Morales, his 4th time this season. He's going multiple home runs. That one's the right center. This time got a breaking pitch out front and drives it out to the right field for his 2nd home run of the game. And that is our jack in the box outside the box.
1-2 to Kendry. On the ground to second base, Willie Ibar gets one. And not in time at first. Boy, that was close at first base.
Well, that was a real good turn, too. Jason Bartlett at shortstop. Willie Ibar makes the play. Good feed. Takeout, though, by Juan Rivera at second. Kendry getting the benefit of that close call there at first base.
That was very, very close. 1 out, 1 on. And Howie Kendrick up there for the Angels. Howie grounded out to Ibar his first time up. .354 since returning from AAA. That's pretty amazing, really.
Key for Howie, too, is don't miss the fastball. Go up the middle of the right center field.
So you have that number, and he's also a .352 career hitter against Tampa Bay.
And a great fastball count now for Howie as he's looking down at the signs for Dino Ebel. Kenny Morales at first base. 1 stolen base on the season. Legs on. It's a fastball on the outside part of the plate.
2-1. Dino Ebel, the Angels' third base coach.
Definitely a count with 2-1 with 1 out. They love to put the hit and run on. Trusted Howie to handle the bat. Key for Kenny Morales at first base. Not necessarily a stolen base threat, but make sure the ball is delivered home if indeed he is going to go.
Short lead. He does not go. 2-2 to Howie Kendrick. Well, this game's just been the total opposite of last night's game, hasn't it?
They look for a mistake either made in the field or by a pitcher in the game. Could be the key play of this ball game, the way these both are throwing.
In the air to right field, Zobrist has a play on it. 2 outs. And that'll bring on Jeff Mathis for the Angels. Jeff Mathis is just over 200, trying to keep his batting average above the Mendoza line. Hitting .204 as he steps in.
Mathis, an excellent defensive catcher. Yesterday worked on his throws. A couple throws he's had against Texas Rangers, sailed into center field, working on that catch and throw. He has a strong arm. It's great about having a manager like Mike Sochi who can work on those things.
And if you've ever seen Soch, maybe in spring training, working with the catchers, he loves it. He absolutely loves to do it. Some managers would probably say, oh, gosh, I don't want to go out there early today. But when it comes to working with the catchers, Soch is right there. Popped up foul, and it'll push out of play.
Interesting what we saw there with Dino and giving a sign and Mathis at the plate and Kenny Morales at first base. It's a second ago. Sometimes you'll see the Angels try to steal a base 0-2, assuming the pitcher's going to try to throw a breaking pitch. We saw that with Gary Matthews Jr. the other day. Breaking pitch in the dirt, got a good jump and was successful on that stolen base attempt.
Gary not in the lineup tonight.
Henry in this spot, not seem like he's getting a real good feel for getting a lead against David Price. More likely we'll go station to station.
And a base hit for Jeff Mathis into left field. It gets away from Crawford for a moment. Morales to third, Mathis to second on the error. You just mentioned a moment ago, maybe a mistake by somebody decides the game.
Well, you can really tell when two pitchers, especially who have quality stuff on their game, it's sometimes a mistake made in the field. This right here, Carl Crawford, very good. You see him look up. He was looking up to see, because the Angels that always have that reputation going first to third. He looked up to see if Kenny was going to try to go to third, but that little bit of miscue in the outfield, looking up, trying to pick up the base runner, didn't look the ball into his glove, and that's why both runners were able to advance now.
So now a key base hit here could get you a couple of runs.
Joe Madden knows that first and third all so well, was a member of that coaching staff for Mike Social.
It's a single for Mathis and an error on Crawford. Reggie Willits takes strike one. Reggie has not had a lot of chances this year in clutch situations, but here's one. Price jumps ahead of him 0-2.
Ben Zobrist is playing fairly deep to right field, and Reggie Willits, when he's batting from the right side, likes to try to work the ball on the outside part of the plate, hit it to right. So he might be able to work base hit in front of him here and get two across. Runners in scoring position though for Reggie. This 125 batting average. Been an opportunity to get a couple RBIs here with a base hit.
One and two. No score in the fifth inning, and Reggie Willits getting an opportunity to start tonight and bat ninth, looking for a big hit. Two and two. The Angels with Morales at third, Mathis at second. And a line drive, base hit, center field by Reggie Willits. That knocks in two, and the Angels lead 2-0. He gets the clutch hit. Not many opportunities for Reggie, but boy, did he come through right there.
Boy, did he. And another nice job of running the bases, too, when that throw came in from the outfield for B.J. Upton. But really had no chance to get Mathis. He was able to advance to second base. But what a swing. Behind the count, 0-2. Took a tough pitch on the outside corner. Then another one. Evens the counter. Howard's Exmo. Good balance. Get that ball out in front. On that fastball, short swing for Reggie Willits. Base hit, drives in two. The mistake by Carl Crawford might be the downfall for the Rays there. Very good outfielder, but just took his eye off the baseball. Result, 2 runs for the Angels.
Certainly cost them at least 1 run. Now Sean Figgins up there at the plate. You know, the ironic thing, too, Gooby, is when Willits first came to the Angels and was just trying to establish himself, prove that he belonged in the big leagues, one of his biggest backers was Joe Madden.
Joe Madden was pushing for a while to try to, if he wasn't going to make the roster for the Angels last year, he'd love to have him down with Tampa. He tried to get him a deal, but the Angels love the way Reggie plays the game.
Sure, there was a time when Joe went to Tampa Bay that he was pretty open about it. I'd love to have Reggie Willits. Now he certainly wishes he would have gotten him. And a liner by Figgins into right field. Willits will score easily. 3-0 Angels. Well, you talked about it. Will be one mistake can change the tone of a game. Crawford made an error, not a critical error at the time, but it might have set things up a little bit for the Angels, who now have scored 3 runs.
And you can tell by the way that some of the pitches from David Price after that point, frustrated. It's a lot different pitching with first and second as compared to second and third. A lot of times it takes away your very good slider in the dirt, because if you throw that in the dirt, you can lose the game 1-0. The Angels saw all the home runs last night, 4 of them to score the runs tonight. They scored 3 runs here on 4 singles and some aggressive base running.
Pitching coach Jim Hickey talked to Price, who's about to make his 27th pitch of this inning. Eric Ibar batting for the first time since taking over for his Turris, who, by the way, is going to have precautionary x-rays taken tonight. They say right now it's basically a bruised right elbow. Eric Ibar hitting .308.
David Price with 3 pickoffs. It's a pretty good move to first base, but not particularly fast once he's going home.
And knowing it's Figgins over there, he's keeping him close.
33 stolen bases on the year for Sean Figgins. A spot where not a bad opportunity if you can get a good enough jump, try to steal second base against scoring position for Ibar.
That ranks Figgins 4th in the American League in stolen bases, 33. Ibar pops one up behind the plate. Zahn will come back and have room. But the Angels have a good inning. They put 3 on the board and lead it 3-0 after 5.
Good rotation of the hips, and that's where he's able to make that contact on the baseball. The eye still on the ball right here. The contact, and then the dinger for Kenny Morales. And that is our Coors Light Freeze Can, brought to you by Rough Food Coors Light.
6th inning, and now Urban Santana pitching with a lead gets a strike in to Greg Zahn. Zahn has the only Tampa Bay hit so far tonight. And now he has 2 hits. This one will be a double. A bloop double down the left field line. So nobody else has a hit, but Zahn's 2 for 2.
Breaking pitch, it was just up. Most times when you see a flare into the outfield, you think in the lines the pitcher made a good pitch, but that usually means it's an elevated pitch up right here. You see it's up right here in this spot. That's how I was able to hit that ball to left field for a base hit. Falling in there nicely for a double, actually.
Well, we know the Rays, they don't shut it down and go away. They're always trying to come back, very much like the Angels.
Similar philosophy, no matter what the score, they're always going to put the pressure on the defense, and that's why they've been successful as far as scoring runs, both clubs.
0-1 to B.J. Upton. Fly ball, center field, shallow. Willits is going to catch it. I don't think Zahn will try to tag up. Nope.
why if you're Irvin Santana, you're in that position to back it up the throw at third base just in case. You're a pitcher. You don't just throw the ball and that's it. You got other responsibilities. Irvin backing up the third base. Nice play by Wills. Got himself in a good throwing position and keeps Zahn at second.
One out, Jason Bartlett up there. One of the teams that has been in the pennant race and or wild card race for most of the year is the Minnesota Twins, but they are really starting to struggle now. Twins are behind at home tonight against Kansas City 14-5 in the 8th inning. And if they go on to lose that one, they will then be 54-58.
Jason Bartlett's getting a steady diet of that tight, sharp slider that Irvin Santana has thrown to the outside part of the plate. Ahead of the count again against him, 0-2.
Bartlett's third in the league in hitting, behind Mauer and Ichir. Check swing, strike three. Irvin Santana not only having a good outing, which was important for him coming in, but a gem so far tonight.
Boy, another great slider on the outside part of the plate. Nice job, too, by Jeff Mathis. Wants to pitch in the dirt, squared up his body, kept the glove there in between the legs to make sure it couldn't get by him, and gets the strikeout once again. Well, as good as Bartlett swung the bat last night, struggled tonight with his third strikeout.
Carl Crawford at the plate. And he hits the first pitch on the ground to Kendrick. And Irvin Santana is shutting him down. He has a 3-0 lead in the 6th. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Angels 3, Tampa Bay nothing. Bottom of the 6th at the Big A. Very nice crowd here on a Tuesday night.
What a job by Irvin Santana. Gives up that leadoff double. Greg Zahn doesn't even get to third base. Great job. Irvin looks very good, very relaxed, great tempo. Talking about using those secondary pitches. They've been outstanding. The changeup, the slider, mixing a curveball. Great velocity on the fastball, too.
Bobby Abreu trying to bunt his way on. Price's throw is low, but it's dug out nicely by Pena.
David Price did a nice job of getting off the mound there. Bobby Abreu doesn't bunt a whole lot. It's a pretty decent bunt, too, down the third base line. David Price bounced off the mound quickly. Call for the baseball, made the throw over. Carlos Pena, Gold Glover, picks it at first base.
Pena saves him. First Gold Glove ever won by a Tampa Bay player.
One of the smoothest fielding first baseman you're going to see.
Vladdy smacks one up the middle for a base hit. So after home run number 400 last night, which, by the way, he became the second player ever to hit number 400 while wearing the Angel uniform. Dave Winfield was the other one. And Vladdy, with that base hit, now has a 13-game hitting streak.
Ball was seared up the middle, too. Great swing, Vlad.
He's had at least one hit in every game he's played since he came back from the disabled list,
including in their 4 home runs. That's what Mike Scioscia wants to see Mickey Hatcher out of him. They like the base hits, but they also like to see the home runs, and he's certainly been picking them up of late.
Juan Rivera up there. Pops one up foul. Juan's 1 for 2 tonight. Mickey Hatcher talking to Sean Figgins.
Always about that swing.
Talking about Mickey Hatcher, he's not here just because he and Scioscia go back to their Dodger days or they're good friends. This guy works as hard as anybody I've ever seen in the game.
Well, the Angel hitters here so early, and Mickey's thrown endless amount of BP before batting practice even starts. He's in there in the cages, working on hitting off the tee, soft toss. Thing is, he says he has so many guys willing to come and work every single day. Makes his job that much more enjoyable.
One of the other things he always points out, and I know he enjoys, is that these guys pull for each other. One and 2 to Juan Rivera. Like a lot of people in baseball, he's a little superstitious. It's inevitable that if we do an interview with Mickey Hatcher and then the team goes out and gets shut out, he blames the interview.
Oh yeah, that was quite enjoyable to do it on that last road trip.
So I knew
he made me aware of that too.
Oh, he always will. Yeah.
I blamed it on you. I told you you set me down. Being the good friend that I am for you, Rory.
Thank you. It is a game of superstitions, though, isn't it?
I think more than any other sport.
Yeah.
From wearing, if you're pitching well, you wear the same shirt, or same thing with hitters. They're not going to change their socks or something if you're swinging the bat well. It's just, you don't want to change anything. For guys jumping over the white lines at first and third base line, all those little things you see. Pretty much everyone.
Full count here to Rivera, 3-2.
Three-two count, 1 out. Vladdy.
You wouldn't think he would go, but you never know.
I'm going to say he's going to go. I think in this spot. Although Price has shown a pretty good move to first, and nobody seemed to have a good read against him.
He does not go, and the pitch is fouled just a little bit to our left.
Another baseball almost flew into our booth.
Almost. Three balls, 2 strikes to Juan Rivera. Vladdy at first. Now he inches away a little bit. He's still not going. And on the bouncer to shortstop, Vlad's out at second. That's all they had time for. Two outs.
Bartlett's so good. That's a tough play, tough hop. Soft his hands are at that shortstop position. It makes a good throw over to Willie Ibar, too, at second. It's a tough play. Deep in the hole at shortstop. Still makes a good feed over to Willie Ibar. Well, the key to any successful team is strong up the middle. Jason Bartlett, certainly that. Same thing with Willie Ibar. B.J. Upton, very athletic at center field for the Rays.
Although defensively, they missed Aki a little bit. Akinori Iwamura, their second baseman. One and 0 to Kendry Morales.
Chance Iwamura may come back this year. Originally, when he was hurt, had the surgery, that they thought he'd be done for the year, but he's progressing well, that he might be back end of August, early September for Joe Madden.
Two and 0 to Kendry. Tampa Bay, they need every win they can get. They started the night, now pushed 8 games behind the Yankees in the East. And the Yanks won tonight, so it's 8.5 at the moment. Starting to look more and more like they're going to have to try and get the wild card, and they're right in that race. They began tonight 2.5 games behind in the wild card. There's a liner into right field for a base hit by Kendry Morales. Looks like Boston's going to win. They're ahead in the 9th inning, so if the Red Sox win and Tampa Bay falls, they'd be 3.5 back in the wild card. Two on, two out. Howie Kendrick at the plate for the Angels.
From the Jacksonville, Florida area. Enjoyed playing against the Rays at .345 batting average career-wise.
Base hit right back up the middle. It was solidly hit. Rivera will be held up at third base. Dino Ebel came about 3/4 of the way down the line to make sure Rivera saw the stop sign.
B.J. Upton has a very strong arm. And he charges the baseball very well. That's a good swing again. Right up the middle. Short swing. There, Dino's in that position. You can't see him out of that camera angle, but he's stopping him right there to make sure Juan Rivera is aware that it would have been a difficult task to be able to score on that base hit up the middle with the ability that Upton has to charge a baseball and make that strong throw. Base is loaded now.
Rivera at third, Morales at second, Kendrick at first. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, then Jeff Mathis, who already has had a nice base hit tonight, up there at the plate. Kids join the Angels for Salute to Kids Day at the Big A, Sunday, September 13th. Kids ages 5 to 18 can enter for a chance to win one of many Angels baseball fantasy prizes, such as throwing out the first pitch, honorary bat kid, guest PA announcer, TV broadcaster, and much more. Enter online at angelsbaseball.com. Ryan Schaus gets up for the Rays.
Lefty with that deceptive delivery.
Jeff Mathis had the base hit last inning that was misplayed by Crawford. Jeff hits one out Crawford's way again, only this one 6-0.
Wow, what a swing. And Jeff Masters continues to get big hits with runners in scoring position. Boy, he jumped all over that first pitch. Crushed that ball. David Price with the bases loaded. No, you have to throw strikes. It's down in the zone, but Mathis gets that ball off the middle part of the wall. And the difference here, with the ball was hit the left field, Carl Crawford, very athletic in the outfield as far as catching baseballs. Doesn't have a great arm. Dino sending everybody across, all 3 runs score.
Now Reggie Willits, who had a big 2-run single in the 5th inning. And this was a scoreless battle until the 5th. But the Angels are breaking it open. Urban Santana having one of his best games, if not his best game all year. Now he has a 6-run cushion.
Take a look at our Howard's Exmo. Look at that balance, the swing, the head, keeps the head back. Right there, you can see the head back. Shoulder stayed intact. Drives that ball to left field for a double. 3-run double for Jeff Mathis, who's been outstanding catching behind the plate.
We'll see what happens with Reggie Willits here, but so far tonight with runners in scoring position, the Angels are 4 for 4. They didn't get anybody in scoring position early in the game.
If he doesn't get Reggie Willits, David Price may be out of the game here. His last batter.
2-1 to Reggie. Price has thrown 94 pitches. Well, Madden loved it here as a coach, but when he has brought his Tampa Bay team here, it just has not worked out for him.
Well, as well as he has him going against the Angels in the Trop, you're right. Struggling here at the Big A, Joe Madden has the manager in his 4th year of this Tampa Bay Ray team after 31 years in the Angel organization.
He's 1-11 here as a visiting manager. Two balls, 2 strikes to Reggie Willits. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and he's hitting .222. Reggie goes down on strikes, but the Angels put 3 more on the board in the 6th inning. We head to the 7th, 6-0 Halos.
behind the plate, working so well. And in perfect sync with Ervin Santana through 6 innings on the mound.
Evan Longoria fouls the first pitch back. It's ironic that Mathis is having such a wonderful night on Napoli bobblehead night.
Well, they're best of friends, roommates. He's doing his best buddy proud tonight. There it is. Like Napoli bobblehead night.
I think it's inspired Mathis tonight.
Well, that's one too.
He wants a Mathis bobblehead night.
Yes, he does.
Well, we did give away a Mathis jersey, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I'm sure you're walking around town with it, aren't you?
They were all out of smalls, so I didn't get one. There's a base hit up the middle by Evan Longoria. This Sunday night at Petco Park in San Diego, the best high school baseball players in the nation take the national stage in the 7th annual Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. Craig Biggio joins the live HD broadcast. Game time is 5 o'clock Pacific here on Fox Sports.
Some outstanding talent in that game.
I would hope so.
At that level, I mean, these
all the
kids,
best players. Ben Zobrist up there for the Rays. Well, we might see a guy who was a great high school player at Crescenta Valley High tomorrow, Trevor Bell.
Yep, he's going to be on there. What about Bryce Harper, that big, strong catcher, the 16-year-old kid out of Vegas? About a 500-foot home run this year, so at the Tropicana down in Tampa.
500 feet?
500 feet is a 16-year-old. That's fairly scary.
Yes.
But it had that little ding from the aluminum bat, but still, the longest home run ever hit at the Trop. Having a 16-year-old doing that.
Well, you know they have to be thrilled to be playing at Petco Park, too, so that'll be a fun game.
The big thing about Bryce Harper is his ambition is to be the best baseball player ever. That's pretty lofty goal.
Yeah.
But hey, why not? Why would you think I want to be an average player? Why not? Why not would you want to be the best player ever? You're hitting a 500-foot home run as a 16-year-old. You got a shot.
Nice breaking ball by Santana. Strikes out Zobrist.
Boy, electric slider. I wonder when Irvin's going to get that good break on that slider. Boy, that was a bad swing too by Zobrist. Very good hitter. Looked bad on that swing. You see him tied him up on that slider in the inside part of the plate. Expo replay shows how perfect that pitch was for Irvin.
Irvin's gotten ahead tonight. 22 batters, 18 times. The first pitch has been a strike.
Big numbers too. Only 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Big number, 0 runs.
Carlos Pena at the plate.
We talked about in the opening how big of a start this is for Ervin Santana. He'll establish himself back as a key component in his rotation, taking some pressure off. Trevor Bell will make his debut tomorrow. Look at that focus. Look at those eyes for Ervin Santana.
One and one. Well, here we are now, less than 24 hours from Trevor Bell's Major League debut. So, are the butterflies starting in the stomach? Is he thinking about it? What's it like?
Just slightly.
Yeah.
Just slightly. But he's got the perfect manager as far as to calm him down. He'll probably joke around with him, before the game to make sure he's not, worried about it.
Strike 2 to Carlos Pena. There's Trevor.
7-7. Look at this ERA this season. At 22 starts, 2.70. Started the year in AA, up AA.
Well, when they brought him up from AA to AAA, his first time out in AAA, he pitched a 1-hitter.
That's impressive.
I think he'd take that tomorrow again, jumping up one more level. On the ground to Morales. 1 out, 2 outs. Double play ends the inning. Kendry makes a nice play and starts the double play. 7th inning stretch at the Big A. It is 6-0 Angels.
Great play by Kendry. Not only fields it, got himself in position, took his time, 3-6-3.
Who's in, who's out? Well, the starter David Price is out, and Brian Schaus is in from the bullpen for Tampa Bay.
Brian Schaus 1-1 with an ERA at 5.09. Last year, very good at 2.81 in 69 games. Fastball, certainly not overpowering, 83 to 88. Slider and a changeup. Slider is his out pitch, but deception is his big key. That's that 3/4 delivery. Hides the ball well.
Bottom of the 7th, top of the order for the Angels. Brian Schaus was one of a handful of active players at the start of the season who are 40 years old or more.
When you look at Evan Longoria against Sean Figgins. Sean Figgins, last time I tried to bunt twice. You see him all the way back here. Is he thinking Sean's not going to try to drag bunt? Sean Figgins shows he could bunt with all that speed. Again, 6-0 lead. Maybe thinking the lines that wouldn't be the spot to lay down a bunt, but you never know. Tampa's certainly capable of coming back in the game.
Schaus was with the Brewers the last few years, which might be his part of the country. He's from Illinois and a former Bradley Brave. Went to Bradley University. Broke in with the Pirates back in 1993.
It's more of a basketball school, isn't it?
I think so, yes. But he made it to the big leagues and has hung around a long time.
Now, you don't see many left-handers throwing submarines, usually from the right side.
Why is that? You're right, but I wonder why that is. 3-2 to Figgy, fouled away.
So you don't see many left-handed knuckleballers either. But this is a, you're throwing across the body, section. See that down from that angle. Just because if you're facing right-handed batters, you're going to see the ball very well out of your hand from that position.
Figgins behind the bag to Longoria, who makes a good throw to get him. Fans, Angels baseball wants to give you a chance to sit
in the sweet seats,
the Chevy sweet seats.
Oh.
You were close, though. They're located next to third base. And you'll also have a chance to win the all-new Chevy Camaro. So text Camaro to 31826 or go to angelsbaseball.com/Camaro. Sit in the Chevy Sweet Seats and get a chance to win a sweet ride. Chevy is the official ride of Angels baseball.
Never gets old hearing you say that, Rory.
Still think we should do a game from those seats one of these days.
Be nice.
Except we'd really have to watch for the line drive.
Like that?
Yes. But I'd be all right. I'd have you there to protect me.
No question. I'd get out of the way and let you take one for the team. There's some great seats.
And the people there are part of the 43,599 here tonight. 0-2 to Eric Ibar. Oh, right in the back. So that submarine pitch to the right-handed hitter got away that time.
Boy, coming inside, throwing across your body like that. You're throwing an all-speed pitch. There's no way. Get out of the way. Well, if you're going to get hit, the old saying, if you're going to get hit, there's always a good place to get hit, and that might have been the spot. Hitting the wallet.
Yeah, certainly did get him right in the wallet, didn't it?
Exactly.
Bobby Abreu takes strike one. Got him right in the sweet seat.
Oh, I'm just thinking about not saying a word on that one, Larry. I'm sure it didn't feel real good either for Eric Ibar.
No.
Anytime you get hit with a pitch, no matter where you get hit, there's those Chevy Sweet Seats.
On the ground to second base. The Rays turn a double play to end the 7th inning. It's 6-0 Angels after 7.
Been a great game so far for the Halos. Irvin Santana deal, and the fans getting a display of that little ball for the Angels today. No home runs, but yet they scored 6 runs on 8 hits, 1 double.
This was a scoreless tie. Went into the 5th inning tonight, but the Angels with 3 in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th. Pat Burrell here leading off the 8th as Irvin Santana works on a 3-hit shutout.
What a great slider. 1-0 slide on the outside corner.
Another play by Figgins.
We talk about a great reaction in that reactionary position at third base. This ball was scalded by Pat Burrell down the line. One hops it, backhand, gathered himself, strong throw to get Burrell by a lot at first base. How quick he is. John Figgins has been outstanding at third base for the Angels this year.
What a year he's having.
I'm still reflecting that game in which Joe Saunders and Zach Greinke were locked in at a great game, and John Figgins won that game with his glove at third base. A couple game-saving plays, and he's done that throughout the season.
It's 2-0 to Willie Ibar. There's Joe Saunders on the disabled list at the moment. If he comes back and is the Joe Saunders we expect, and Santana continues this role, and all of a sudden this is a pretty scary team.
Exactly, and you got Torrey Hunter on a rehab assignment down at Rancho Cucamonga. A little lack of focus there in that at bat against Willie Ibar for Irvin Santana, but other than that, very good this game. And get back to Joe Saunders. I talked to him yesterday. He feels good already. And they're going to take their time, make sure he's ready to get back out there. They fully believe in that after that 15 days is coming around, that he'll be ready to go take his assignment on the mound. In fact, he's sitting there talking next to John Lackey. It's the key when you have a veteran influence like a John Lackey around. If you're a young player, just sit there and listen to him. And John Lackey had to do the same thing when he was coming up, talking a lot with people like Jared Washburn, Kevin Apier, Aaron Seeley, people like that when he first came up. Passing on the knowledge.
Griggs on, taps one to Kendrick, and the Angels turn a double play. The Rays are out in the 8th. Santana shutting him down. The Angels on Fox Sports West or KCOP. You can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv, the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live. Or you can also catch the ones you missed on demand on your computer. Check angelsbaseball.com. Jeff Bennett, the new pitcher for the Rays.
5 games pitched so far this year. High ERA over 9 at 9.64. Fastball Above average fastball, 91 to 95. Also a slider. So he has decent stuff. He just hasn't commanded the strike zone early on here in the season for the Rays coming up.
Well, Bennett missed the 2006 season after Tommy John surgery. He's 1-0 to Vladdy, leading off the bottom of the 8th. Bennett, 29 years old. Two and one to Vladdy. Two balls, two strikes to Guerrero. He does have a hit tonight. He whistled a single up the middle last time up. And there's another one up the middle. Two hits for Vlad tonight.
Well, his plate coverage is insane. The ball was off the outside part of the plate. Look at his hips flying wide open.
Now, as you look at that frozen right there, is that the ideal swing?
That's what I'm going to teach all my students there at Chaminade High School in the Valley. Expo replay shows how strong is this man. Sure, Mickey's going to run right in there, look at the tape and say, guys, this is what we got to do at the plate.
Now, this is what I want. And yet it's right back up the middle for a base hit.
And hit hard.
Yes.
I mean, nobody hits a baseball hard when there's swings like that, fooled that far out in front.
Juan Rivera hits it right to the shortstop. Another double play in this ball game. And two outs in the bottom of the 8th. Kendry Morales coming up.
Well, you're going to see defensive plays made when you got two pitchers throughout the game throwing strikes, and of course guys coming out of the bullpen for the Rays throwing strikes also.
Well, when Santana comes out there for the 9th inning, if he has a clean inning, he could get through 9 innings with under 100 pitches. He's only thrown 85. He's had his best game this year by far.
Well, that look he's had throughout the game on the bench, he hasn't taken his eye off the ground or the mound out there today, even when he's sitting in the bench. He's just been focused, and his tempo has been great. Bullpen is kicking back and relaxing. Watching a masterpiece by Urban Santana.
1 ball, 1 strike to Kendry Morales. This was a duel. No score through 4 innings with Morales, with Santana and Price. But then the Angels broke through in the 5th. And there's a shot hit past the second baseman, Ibach. Kendry Morales a base hit. Here's the Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention, assist of the game.
Roberts hit that ball, looked like it was going to tie, but Juan Rivera in position to make a game-saving catch. And a smile.
Well, that was a put out, but it certainly did assist the Angels' win, didn't it?
I'll tell you what, when that ball was first hit, I thought, uh-oh.
I'll tell you, a lot of heads dropped around the stadium when that ball was hit.
But he looked confident right off the get-go. He had a good read on that fly ball. Went back. I mean, that wall, a short wall in left field, but that's solid cement. It's a little padding on there, so he had to get back there and run right into it. Made a great play, and no fan interference.
No.
Solid job by the fans.
Obviously, if he doesn't get there, it's gone, and the game's tied.
He's been unbelievable, too. Juan Rivera, only 1 error in 76 starts, plus the fact he has an above-average arm.
1-2 now to Howie Kendrick. Juan's having a great year on both sides of the ball.
The reason why you see him playing so well defensively, he's playing every day. The more he sees the reaction off the baseball, whether it'll become a left-hander's bat or a right-hander's bat, he's performed. And Mike Scioscia felt all along, that's why they signed him that 3-year deal, that he could be a very good, everyday left fielder. They knew he could hit, but he'd be a solid defender also.
Two and two to Howie Kendrick. So that'll do it as Kendrick bounces out. And we head to the 9th inning. Irvin Santana up 6-0. SC4dealers.com. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, get the $2.99 big deal featuring a cheeseburger, a taco, small fries, and a small drink for just $2.99. 6-0 Angels as we go to the 9th inning. Torrey Hunter played at Rancho Cucamonga tonight. First game of his rehab assignment. He went 0 for 2. He did get a walk. He stole third base in the ball game. And even though he was 0 for 2, I guarantee you he feels great having just played a game.
And big thing, 1 stolen base. That means he's running well again. That was the thing he told me before he went on the disabled list. He didn't feel good about the way he was running.
1 pitch to B.J. Upton, 1 out in the 9th inning. Irvin Santana, what a game he is pitching tonight.
Best velocity he's had on the fastball this whole season, too. 8 1/3, only 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 career shutouts. The fastball's been anywhere between 92 and 94. Great slider, very good changeup, too.
Mike Scioscia has been waiting for this. He's thrown 86 pitches, 58 strikes.
The man he's facing right now, Jason Bartley's already struck out 3 times.
One and one to Bartlett. This is a sight for sore eyes for Mike Butcher.
Boy, and he's talking to Butch all the time about working with Irvin Santana just to get him back to just to a good rhythm. That's so important for a pitcher. Don't waste a lot of time in between pitches. And we talked about at the beginning of the game using those secondary pitches, and he did that right from the first inning. Used some changeup, the slider, threw a couple curveballs. Then he got more comfortable with the fastball as the game has gone along.
Wow, there's a great breaking ball for Bartlett.
That'd be fun to take that slider out to the mound. Boy, a 2-1 pitch. Well, you can see that expression on Bartlett's face going, "Ooh, I didn't have a chance." Now he's thinking, uh-oh, is he going to throw it again on me?
Why not? Bartlett hits one right down the left field line toward the foul pole. Rivera, foul ball. Memories of last night for Juan right there.
Well, he tried to get down there in the corner.
Two and two to Jason Bartlett.
Three-two count. A 6-0 lead. You've had a great slider all game. What Urban's thinking about. He still had good velocity on the fastball too.
Bartlett. Whoa! A diving try by Ibar, and he makes the catch. What a play by Eric. He takes the base hit away from Bartlett.
What a play. You talk about full extension. Oh, no chance. Slider backed up on Urban there. But Eric Ibar.
That's actually past him when he catches it.
He would make a wide receiver in the NFL proud of that play. Full extension. Eric Ibar, what a play. The defense has been outstanding for the Halos tonight.
It was almost as if the third base umpire, Laz Diaz, and Sean Figgins were both waiting to see where the ball was, but it was in his glove.
Remember, he came in for Meister Estorce, was hit on the elbow by a pitch from David Price. So he hasn't really been in a total flow of the game, but he makes an outstanding play.
1-1 to Carl Crawford, who bounces one foul. I'll tell you, when Figgins saw that he had caught it, he acted as an umpire. He threw his right arm up in the air and called him out.
Fans on their feet for Urban.
And he gets the strikeout to finish it off. It's a 3-hit shutout for Urban Santana. The Angels beat the Rays 6-0, and maybe Santana is back. Just another Halo victory.
And he completed that game a shutout with 97 pitches. That 97